Hello friends, welcome to Defense Today, and we're back with a fresh new episode. Today we have 3 updates to share with you. First of all, we'll discuss about Air Force's plan about hypersonic missile, followed by an update regarding the budgetary challenges the US Navy is facing right now, and at the end, the sale of Harpoon missiles to India and the associated impact of this deal. So let's start with the Air Force. The Air Force is going to flight test a unique hypersonic autonomous aircraft they've roped in an Atlanta-based startup, Hermeus Hypersonic, as per latest announcement. According to the press release, the aircraft is called Quarter Horse, and it's designed to test the company's turbine-based combined cycle (TBCC) engine based around the GE J85 turbojet engine. By the end of the flight test campaign, Quarter Horse will be the fastest reusable aircraft in the world and the first of its kind to fly a TBCC engine. Quarter Horse is capable to fly at 5 times the speed of sound. So just imagine it can travel from New York to Paris in only 90 minutes, compared to the roughly 7.5 hours in regular flights. As per latest press release, Hermeus Hypersonic will be awarded a $60 billion Small Business Innovation Research Phase 2 contract mediated by AFWorks, the Air Force's innovation hub. The contract is funded by Air Force Life Cycle Management Center's Presidential and Executive Airlift Directorate, the Air Force Research Laboratory, AFRL, and some other venture capital sources. Last August, Hermeus managed to grab a smaller contract under an other transaction for prototype agreement direct to Phase 2 contract through AFWorks, as they successfully tested a Mach 5 engine prototype in February 2020. As per the press release notes, this engagement with Hermeus is part of a larger effort led by the Directorate to fuel the burgeoning commercial resurgence of high-speed passenger travel and has been dubbed the Vector Initiative. The initiative aims to partner with commercial sector leaders to accelerate their development and, as a byproduct, advance enabling technologies that could provide the Air Force options for a variety of missions. The U.S. Air Force has been performing a root cause analysis of last week's hypersonic missile test failure, but the initiative has ample amount of time to conduct flight testing following production move by end of next fiscal year. On July 28th, over Point Mugu Sea Range near Southern California, the second booster flight test of the AGM-183A air-launched rapid response weapon was conducted, and the missile's engine failed to ignite after the weapon was launched from a B-52 bomber. As per Brigadier General Heath Collins, the Air Force's Program Executive Officer for Weapons, they were not able to detect what's actually caused the issue. As per Collins, if that's a quick and rapid resolution, then we would have minimal perturbation to our schedule, and we would look to get back in the air when our next test window is available. If it's a little more prolonged or drives anything excessive from a redesign perspective, which we don't know at this point, depending on how long that takes, it may impact our ability to meet our next test window as we go forward. The Air Force is yet to complete flight testing of the ARRW booster successfully before the service contract goes to Lockheed Martin. If any major redesign of the missile is required, then the date can be postponed, as it's targeted to move to production in the next financial year. In the FY22 budget request, the Air Force has allocated $161 million to purchase the first 12 AGM-183As, which will be the military's first hypersonic weapon. According to Collins, the Lockheed-made missile has encountered some issues during testing. If they have to make any changes in the pre-planned procurement decision of 12 ARRW missiles, there will be impact on cost and supply. He added, while it did not meet all flight objectives, the test demonstrated several first-time events as the program continues to track toward fielding a hypersonic capability in the early 2020s. Let's take a look at what financial challenges our Navy's facing now. As per one of the top budget officials, till this fall, if the federal government keeps operating under a continuing resolution, the U.S. Navy would not be able to purchase the ships and weapons in 2022, which is very much required. Not only that, they don't have enough budget to operate the fleet and may end up reducing manpower. The Deputy Assistant Secretary of the Navy for Budget, Rear Admiral John Gumbleton, said during a discussion at the Navy League's annual Sea Air Space Conference that as per a CR, or continuing resolution, which maintains FY21 spending limits, the service would have been $14 billion in the wrong funding accounts. Though in fiscal year 2021, the Navy received a funding of $4.5 billion greater than its demand in FY22, Gumbleton said he would prefer to maintain a lower top line, instead more money with significant restrictions. Under a CR, no fresh programs can be initiated, and programs can't add quantity beyond what's planned in the previous year. As per Gumbleton, when you look at the new starts or production increases, that's actually a loss of almost $8 billion that the U.S. Navy is willing to spend in the next fiscal year, and it will not be allowed under a CR. As per Gumbleton, manpower, operations, and maintenance costs are surpassing inflation, and at the same time, the Navy's budget was already decided, which was not in line with the rate of inflation. So the next financial year was, anyway, expected to be a tough one in terms of budget for the U.S. Navy. As per Gumbleton, the U.S. Navy is going through an operation and maintenance deficit of $1.8 billion, and at the same time, Marine Corps is facing a loss of $700 million. So the funding levels for next year is way less to meet the expected operation and maintenance costs. On top of that, the U.S. Navy would be lagging by $2 billion in its personnel accounts. So Gumbleton added, in a year-long CR, we would have to cut people, cut sailors, cut Marines to pay the bills, to pay the salaries. Let's move to our next update for today regarding the anti-ship Harpoon missile deal. The Harpoon missile is the best anti-ship missile available in the world and serving the armed forces across 30 countries as per the U.S. defense major. This missile is an all-weather, over-the-horizon, anti-ship missile system. The U.S. has sanctioned the sale of Harpoon Joint Common Test Set, JCTS, and associated equipment to India for $82 million. The move will strengthen the bilateral strategic ties and boost the security of a major defensive partner in the Indo-Pacific region. The Pentagon's Defense Security Cooperation Agency, DSCA, approved the necessary certification, taking U.S. Congress in confidence, and intimated regarding possible sale. As per their statement, the government of India has requested to buy one Harpoon Joint Common Test Set, also included is one Harpoon Intermediate Level Maintenance Station, spare and repair parts, support and test equipment, publications and technical documentation, personnel training, U.S. government and contractor technical, engineering and logistics support services, and other related elements of logistics and program support. The estimated total cost is USD $82 million. The Harpoon missile system can perform anti-surface warfare missions to defend critical sea lanes when integrated into the P-8I aircraft. The Harpoon is expected to enhance the combat capability of the Indian Navy at a time when China is making forays into the Indian Ocean region. The two nuclear-armed neighbors have been locked in a border standoff in the Himalayas for more than a year now. At present, the Indian Navy is facing a resource crunch and needs to make smart decisions. Harpoons offer economical, more familiar alternatives. India first purchased 24 AGM-84L Block II Harpoons in 2010 for the Indian Air Force. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your valuable feedback in the comment section. This will help us to improve.